Write an inequality that represents each statement. Rachel's hair is at least as long as Julia's hair. So I'm going to have R be Rachel and J be Julia. R is Rachel, J is Julia. At least, we're going to use this symbol, greater than or equal to. The wind speeds of tropical storms are at least 40 miles per hour, but less than 74 miles per hour. So it's in between these two ranges. And we're going to have wind speeds, let's go S for speeds. So it needs to be less than 74, but at least greater than or equal to. The S, the greater than or equal sign is facing the side, greater than or equal to 40. Smaller of the two numbers is on the left, larger of the two numbers is on the right. Example number 13. The length of the picture frame is 3 times greater than the width of the picture frame. The perimeter is less than 52 inches. Describe the dimensions of the frame. So what do we know? We know that perimeter of a rectangular frame is 2W plus 2L. And we know that the length is 3 more than the width. So if this is the width, then the length is 3 more than the width. So width plus 3, width plus 3. So now I can replace the length with width plus 3. And keep in mind that the perimeter is 52. And it's not equal to, this quantity must be less than 52. So this amount must be less than 52. So I'm going to distribute the 2 to have 2W plus 2W plus 6. I'm going to move the 6 to the opposite side. Combine 2W and 2W. Then isolate the W by dividing. And 46 divided by 4 is 11 and a half. It's a terminating decimal, so you can write it as a decimal if you wish, or keep it as a fraction, your choice. But the big thing is describe the frame. So in words, we know that the width, now notice that this point is facing the width. The width is less than 11 and a half inches. And so if we know the width is 11 and a half, take 11.5 plus 3, and we know the length is 3 inches greater than the width. The length is 3 inches greater than the width, stated already in the paragraph provided to us. We'd want to see that in words. We want to put that into words for a quiz or for checkpoint quiz or for a test. The width is less than 11.5 inches and the length is 3 greater than the width. That's describing the dimensions of the frame, the length and the width. Looking at problem number 14. The length of sides of a triangle are 5, 6, and 7. Describe the length of the longest side of the perimeter. Describe the length of the longest side if the perimeter is less than 54 inches. Okay, so again we have some type of a triangle and we know the perimeter as adding up the 3 sides. And these gives you the ratio, so 5, 6, and 7. So 5 times some quantity, 6 times some quantity, and 7 times some quantity. And we know that amount needs to be less than 54 centimeters. So I'm going to add up. 5 and 6 is 11, 11 and 7 is 18. And I'm going to divide by 18. And x is less than 3. So what does this mean? It says describe the longest side. So the longest side has a 7. And if we know this x is less than 3, this 3 times 7 would be 21. We could say the longest side has to be less than 21 centimeters. Number 15. Usain Bolt, once the fastest man in the world, and the most decorated sprinter of all times recorded the following race times in seconds during the 100-meter dash in the summer of 2015. What is the highest time he can record in the next race and still achieve an average of at most 9.77? So there's a couple complexities here. How do you find out the average of something? You add them up and then you divide by the quantity. So we already have 3, and they're saying if we add one more race time to this, so if we add these up plus an additional race time, we'll call it R for the race, we want that average, I'm dividing by 4 because there's 4 times. We want that to be at most this quantity. So this has to be less than or equal to. At most means less than or equal to. At least greater than or equal to. At most less than or equal to. At most 9.77. So I have 9.78 plus 9.84 plus 9.71 plus some race quantity divided by 4 needs to be less than or equal to 9.77. We'll first start by multiplying times the 4. Grab me a calculator, please. They told me to call harder. All right, so I'm going to take 9.77 times 4 because I want to get rid of the fractions. So on this side I have 39.08. And then on the left I have these 3 quantities which I'm going to add together right now. 9.78 seconds plus 9.84 plus 9.71. Okay, now to isolate the R, I'm going to subtract. So if I take the previous quantity, subtract 29.33, I end up with the race, his final race must be less than 9.76 seconds to average at most 9.77 seconds over the last 4 races.